Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the World Expeditions Introduction to the Everest region. My name is Callum Hawkins. I am the Himalaya Operations Manager at World Expeditions, and this is a part of the world, an amazing region I'm very passionate about. So, a bit about me. My first time was to the Himalayas back in 2013 on a winter trek to Everest Base Camp with my mum and sister. This was a life-changing trip for me. One of the most incredible experiences I ever had. And for this really ignited my passion for the mountains. Shortly after we got back from the Himalayas, I went to a World Expeditions talk in the Sydney office, hosted by Soren Cruise-Leonard, and there I was even more inspired about more regions throughout the Himalayas to explore. Over the past 15 years, I've returned to Nepal and throughout the Himalayas about 7 times on a range of trekking and mountaineering expeditions. And this is a place that I keep really close to my heart and I'm very passionate about, and I've had some incredible experiences along the way. I've also worked as a guide for World Expeditions on Larapinta Trail and have had many amazing experiences up high in the Himalayas. So, a bit about us. World Expeditions, we began our journey in the Himalayas back in 1975. Our first treks up it through the Everest region, and still there today, we run incredible trips and expeditions throughout this region. We are very proud of the trips we run. We have an incredible team on the ground, and all our trips are very thoughtful and considerate, and very safety as our priority along the way. Here's a few photos of amazing teams over there. Our incredible support crew from our Sherpas, our porters, our cook team, and our local operations team as well. They always keep a keen ear to the ground on everything that's happening up there, making sure that our trips are managed, safety is a priority, and are smoothly run. All our trips in the Himalayas begin in Kathmandu. Kathmandu is a hustling city of about 5 million people. It's a beautiful capital of Nepal. There we stay at the wonderful Radisson Hotel, so you're always picked up and transferred there from the airport. It's a wonderful 5-star hotel, wonderful beds, great showers before and after trip to recover and relax, and a delicious buffet. There's also plenty to do in Kathmandu as a tourist. A lot of sightseeing, amazing cultural and heritage sites, and as well as a hustling area of Tamil, which is a great area to go to for a bit of shopping, sightseeing, and just enjoying the restaurants and cafes before your trip. We also have a World Expeditions front desk in the foyer who's able to answer any of your questions, and there you can also leave your baggage that you're not taking on the trek. Here's a brief map of the Everest region. So through this, we offer a range of trips of duration, difficulty, and key location and viewpoints along the way, which I'll go through shortly. So, best time of year to go to the Himalayas. Up in the Khumbu, we run our trips from September all the way through to May. This is a key time of year. First starting off with autumn for September, October, and a touch of November. So here after the post-monsoon season of the summer, it's been very wet, but this is when the weather's starting to stabilize throughout the region. Everything is very lush, very green, very beautiful and vibrant. And throughout the season, we get some wonderful weather of bluebird days, which is fantastic conditions for hiking, very good temperatures throughout the day to enjoy the views. And then in the evenings, as you progress closer to November, it's starting to get a bit cooler overnight. In wintertime, it is cold. The trails are absolutely beautiful and stunning. It's also a bit quieter on the trails this time of year. We still operate majority of our trips in wintertime. You do get a nice snow flurry here and there with some snowstorms coming through, which our guides will always manage the weather appropriately with the group and make those good decisions as you go through the sections. Springtime is absolutely beautiful. After the cold weather, all the bird life, wildlife, flowers, forests come alive after the winters. And through this time, we have the rhododendron season really pick up. So this is the season from March, April, and May. Throughout the Himalayas, this is a key climbing season, especially for Everest. We see a lot of the big expedition teams heading up to Everest Base Camp, where they establish a small little tent city for March, April, May. So three great seasons to choose from, depending what time of year you're available to go to the Himalayas. If you're after wonderful weather, all these seasons bring that. Also a bit more of a challenge with the conditions in winter. The landscapes in the Himalayas vary incredibly. It's a range of biospheres. Everything that from in Kathmandu, the valleys there can be hot and humid and warm, through to Lukla, becoming a bit more mild, but lush green forests, raging rivers, steep gorges, and beautiful valleys. You then progress up into more of the alpine areas. So you've got smaller trees and shrubs, and then more open valleys from there. This, when you go above 3,500 meters, you'll start to see the tree line there stop. And then as you commence even higher, you're then surrounded by the big glacial peaks. Um, a lot of scree, rock, ice, and snow. It's absolutely incredible sight. So it's really amazing seeing this open up in front of your eyes as you hike higher and deeper into the Himalayas. The people and the culture of the Himalayas are one of the most incredible experiences. Definitely the memories that I found that have really lasted with me over the years. The wonderful friendships you build on trip with your fellow hikers, but also with the guides, the people you meet in the local villages, and your team that takes you through this part of the world. The people of Nepal are so warm. They're wonderful, they're kind, they're generous. They're always happy to see you on the trail. They love it that you're curious to come and visit this part of the world. The culture is deeply rooted in who they are. Um, their faith in Hinduism, Buddhism, up throughout the Himalayas is really strong and is a big part of their everyday life. Altitude, you are going to experience it on our Himalaya hikes. Um, Understanding it is really important throughout that journey. We always recommend to visit your GP or a travel clinic to get the best update regarding how best to manage yourself up in the altitude of the Himalayas. All our team is highly trained at managing everyone in this type of environment. And it's really important that you take your guides' advice seriously. We'll always get a nice, easy, relaxing pace as you walk through, and all itineraries include ample acclimatization days as well. Food and water make such an important, imperative part of a successful trip. We take great pride in the food and menu we provide on trips. All our trips, all the food is included. And for that, you're very spoiled with delicious sort of three-course meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And for that, you've got to stay fueled for this type of journey. Your body's going through a lot of challenges, a lot of changes with the altitude, the duration of hiking every day. And also that is that recovery repair overnight while you sleep. We have a very mixed menu to cater for all types of dietaries as well, which is brilliant for vegetarians, for gluten-free. We're able to cater for you. And always please let our sales and reservation staff know before you sign up about your dietary requirements. We try to include a lot of fresh ingredients. And so for a lot of breakfasts, you'll start the day with a morning tea, which is a lovely cup of tea to start the day, followed by breakfast will always be like porridge, toast, eggs, as well as plunge of coffee. This is really fuels you up for the start of the day. After you hike for a few hours, you then come for lunch, which would be like a lot of rice, like a fresh salad, potatoes, and protein as well. And most of all, dal, which is one of the most accessible and widely used dishes up there in the Himalayas. And then for dinner will be a very hearty meal. This can range from pastas, pizza, and a nice dessert for those with a sweet tooth. We also provide drinking water while on trip. This is boiled and purified water, so you don't have anything to worry there regarding access to drinking water for the whole trip. You have ability to refill at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that is nice ease of mind that you got good quality water throughout the trip. Our cook teams are highly trained. They practice up to a Western standard of hygiene. So always take Um, yeah, great understanding that we are providing the food for you to keep you fueled and healthy along the trip. Throughout our Everest treks, you stay in our wonderful eco comfort camps. These are based in several villages along the way. We're very proud of our wonderful comfort camps, as I find they offer a really wonderful and immersive experience for where you stay overnight. Each eco comfort camp, the tents are twin share. They're with a raised bed with a thick mattress and a fitted sheet. All these camps also have a bathroom with Western toilets, a basin for washing hands and keeping hygiene at the max. They're also associated with the local lodge, where you'll be able to dine and enjoy and relax and put your feet up at the evening when you go into camp. These are nice little homes away from home. You settle in, you get your routine, and just really ground yourself with that camping element to these trips. In areas where we don't have access to our eco comfort campsites, we do stay in local lodges. Bear in mind that lodges, the accommodation does vary, and the further up in the Himalayas you get, the more basic the lodge accommodation becomes. So always keep that in mind. Listen to your guides for the briefing about what the accommodation is going to be like, and we'll always try to accommodate everyone for their needs up in these accommodation areas. Some of my favorite and best memories in lodge accommodation in the tea houses and the eco comfort campsites is always the evenings around the big stove in the middle of the main room. It's a beautiful way to unwind, chat with your fellow hikers, play card games, read a book, relax, and put your feet up. It's a really special time. We can enjoy meals all together. So at World Expeditions, we also provide gear for you to use and take on the trip. We know how expensive and how big of an investment this specialized outdoor trekking gear is. And for that, we provide high quality gear. You will be supplied with a 90-liter soft duffel. This duffel isn't 100% waterproof, so please pack dry bags. We also include a -10 comfort sleeping bag, as well as a foam mattress for the camping trips, and also a fleece liner for extra insulation. We do provide, on the photo on the right, here's one of our clients wearing a wonderful down parka. We also have these in fiber-filled insulation as well. These are all wonderful pieces of equipment to keep you warm, keep you well rested, and to make sure you got the right equipment for that trip. Your guides will also do a thorough gear check back at the Radisson Hotel before you depart for your trip, just to make sure you have all the required gear as well. So, a typical day. Throughout the Himalayas, we like to sort of start our journeys at about 6:30 a.m. for wake-up tea. You'll then be followed by breakfast. Throughout the time, pack your duffel as well. Get that ready for the porters to take on the trail, or you carry your day pack for the day ahead. We walk at a relaxed pace, nice and easy going. Your guide will set that throughout the day. And then you'll stop for lunch about midday for a lovely, relaxing feast. For the afternoon, you have a few more hours of hiking. And then once you get to the lodge or the eco comfort campsite, you can then put your feet up and go for a walk around the local village. This is typically about a sort of 6 to 8 hour days on the trail. And it's a pretty good entry level into hiking. And then the evenings, we'll always note about the time for dinner and then get an early night, ready to recharge, relax before another amazing day on the trail. So at World Expeditions, we offer a range of hiking trips throughout the Everest region. We have at least 10 itineraries that do pass through this incredible Khumbu range. And let's go through them. So the classic, definitely high on a lot of people's bucket list, is Everest Base Camp Trek and Comfort. This is our most popular trip. It's a 17-day itinerary with 13 days of hiking. So 9 days up to Everest Base Camp and 4 days return. We include ample itinerary acclimatization days, and for this gives you the best chance of reaching Everest Base Camp successfully. So you take the journey from Kathmandu to Lukla, which is typically about a 35-minute flight, or Kathmandu, you drive to Ramachap, and then you fly out the following morning from Ramachap to Lukla, and the drive takes about 6 to 8 hours, followed by a 20-minute flight from Ramachap to Lukla, depending on the time of year. This is out of our control, but more in terms of the time of year and where the authorities have placed flights to depart to Lukla. So please be patient and keep this in mind when you are there in Kathmandu. So 2 nights hotel, 4 nights lodge, and 10 nights eco comfort camps, which is a great variety for on the trail. All meals are included, and those internal flights are included as well. We grade this trip about a 5 out of 10, more due to the, I suppose, the duration of hiking each day, as well as the altitude. We also include a wonderful journey up to Mount Kalapatar after you ascend to Everest Base Camp. Mount Kalapatar is definitely one of the most beautiful viewpoints up in the high Himalayas. You'll see a wonderful sunrise over Mount Everest and Lhotse and Nuptse, and have good views down to the peaks in the south of the Khumbu range there. This is an incredible trip, a rewarding trip, and definitely a trip that a lot of people do as their first hike to the Himalayas. And we are proud to offer this trip to an incredible standard, and we always get wonderful feedback, and people absolutely love this experience up there in the Everest region. We also have Everest Base Camp over 55s in comfort. So this trip is one of the most popular as well. For those over 55, this is the trip for you. It includes a couple of extra acclimatization days and a more relaxed pace to reach base camp, as well as descend back down to Lukla. For this trip, you do visit a few other villages along the way, get more time acclimatizing and enjoying the time with your friends along the trail. It's a 21-day trip with 17 days of hiking, 2 nights hotel, 18 nights in eco comfort camps or lodges. All meals included, local flights included, and this is a 5 out of 10 rating as well. For something a bit shorter and not as high as the regular Everest base camp trip, we have the Everest Trek in Comfort, which is a 12-day itinerary and an 8-day trek. So 3 nights hotel, 6 nights eco campsite, and 2 nights in the lodge. For this hike, you fly up to Lukla, hike in from Lukla to Namche by Monjo, and then you head up to Kanjuma and to Pengboche, which is your highest point for that trip. Pengboche is around 3,930 meters. So that's the highest altitude you go on that hike. And then you'll start to return down to Lukla over the next few days. So for those with not as much time on their hands, you still get a great experience and introduction to the Khumbu range and the Everest region through this hike. And it's definitely one we recommend for those who want to experience that area, but also as less of altitude as well. We grade this at a 3 out of 10 in terms of difficulty rating, which is more of an introduction to the Himalayas. Everest Family Trek in Comfort. What better way to share the Everest region than with your family? I've shared multiple trips with my mum and sister in the Himalayas. It's definitely some of my fondest and most wonderful memories in this part of the world. And for that, we have created this itinerary that is really generous on time. It gives a lot of ample time to acclimatize and also visit the incredible areas along the way that you will get to enjoy and experience with your family. So the Everest Family Trek in Comfort goes up the classic route from Lukla to Namche. You then explore, enjoy time in Namche before continuing north to Pengboche and Mingbo, and then onto a visit to Amadablam Base Camp, which is at 4,800 meters. This is an incredible view beneath Amadablam, which is one of the crown jewels of the Himalayas. This is a wonderful hike, well-paced, 11-day trek, 3 nights hotel, 7 nights eco comfort camp, and 4 nights lodging, and all meals and flights are included. This is what we rate at a 5 out of 10 for difficulty grading. So Everest Base Camp, high flying comfort. This is a pretty special trip. One that you take the classic route to Everest Base Camp, you still climb Mount Kalapatar for sunrise, and then descend back down to Dengboche. This journey is a 10-day trek up to Everest Base Camp, followed by 1 day down to Dengbache. And then from Dengbache, you take a helicopter from Dengbache to Lukla, where you either refuel or change over a helicopter and then fly back to Kathmandu from there. For this trip, I recommend it for those who may with a bit of less time on their hands than the complete Everest Base Camp up and back. But it's also pretty special and incredible going on a helicopter throughout the Himalayas. Some of the most amazing views. Seeing that perspective of the mountains from a helicopter is pretty incredible. Strip is 3 nights hotel, 7 nights eco comfort campsites, and 3 nights lodge. All meals included, and internal flights as well as a helicopter are included as well. And this is rated as a 5 out of 10. Next up is the Everest Circuit and the Chola Pass in comfort. So the Chola Pass is one of the 5,000-meter high passes in the Everest region. It's a non-technical high pass, but it's absolute stunning views and increased perspective around the Himalaya range. So this trip goes up from Lukla to Namche, and then from Namche you then head up towards Dole and then towards Gokyo. Now, Gokyo is a beautiful turquoise lake with a few lodges there. And at Gokyo, you'll then ascend Gokyo-ri with incredible views over Everest and the Himalayas and that side of the Khumbu region. From Gokyo, you then cross the longest glacier in Nepal, and then you ascend over Chola Pass. Now, this is a big day. Your guides will wake you up quite early to ascend the pass and then descend safely as well. And here you are then into the other valley onto the Everest route towards base camp. You'll then head north to base camp, back down to Gorakshep, we then climb Mount Kalapatar, and then head down south from there towards Luka over the coming days. This is an incredible trip. You start to explore and see more of the Everest region. 2 nights hotel and then 18 nights eco comfort campsite or lodges. All meals and the internal flights are included. And we put this as a 6 out of 10 for our grading because the going over Chola Pass is that next level up to experience and enjoy. So this one's similar to Chola, but instead of going over Chola, we go over Renjala High Pass, which is another 5,000-meter pass in the Everest region. So from Alukla, we hike up several days to Namche, and then from Namche, we then head north to Dole, then to Gokyo, where we then also ascend Gokyo-ri. Instead of going east to Chola Pass, we then head west over Renjala. And this is an incredible day. Heading over Renjala, you get some of the most amazing views in the Himalayas, striking features, the nearby peaks. And through that time, it's a wonderful day journeying over Renjala and then down into the Tame Valley. From the Tame Valley, you then descend back down to Namche before heading out to Lukla from there. So this good circuit is a really good level up from the regular Everest Base Camp trip. It's a 6 out of 10. For that, all meals and internal flights are included. And I think it's a really good challenge to go off more of the beaten path of the regular routes at Gokyo, but also in the Tame Valley, which is a lot quieter, very wide valley there, and stunning views of the Himalayas. Yeah. Next is Everest Trails to Aman Blam Base Camp in comfort. So Aman Blam, beautiful mountain in the middle of the screen there. She is the crown jewel of the Himalayas. And for that, this trip is a 14-day itinerary and 10-day trek. 2 nights hotel, 11 nights in eco comfort camps or lodges. And for this, we have a nice pacing all the way off from Lukla to Namche. We 1 night at Monjo, heading over to Kanjuma, Pengbache, and Mingmo. And then from Mingmo, we trek to Aman Blam Base Camp and return to Pengbache. So for that, you get a good introduction into the Himalayas. You're able to see some of the most amazing peaks up in the Everest region. And going to the base of Aman Blam Base Camp is absolutely incredible. It's one of my favorite areas. The sheer vertical rock and ice in front of you is absolutely incredible. And one that a lot of our wonderful hikers and adventurers really enjoy. After visiting Armadillam Base Camp, we then trek to Forte, which is a beautiful Sherpa village, before returning to Namche, and then from Namche to Lukla, and then return to Kathmandu. Now, for those up for a very exciting challenge, this is the Everest Three Passes Trek, or High Passes Trek, it's also known by. So we're very proud to offer this trip. Uh, it's a 7 out of 10 grading, but that's because you complete three 5,000-meter passes. This has a mix of accommodation from 3 nights in hotel, 10 nights lodging, 7 nights in the eco comfort campsites, and 1 night wilderness camping. So from Lukla, we head up to Namche. We then continue north um, up into Pengboche and Dengboche. And then from Dengboche, we head up towards Chukum, but then veer on the flanks of the ridge line there. We then set up camp at the base of Komala Pass. The photo in the middle is the wilderness campsite at Komala, opposite Amadablam, which looks absolutely incredible from this range. And for this journey, you then have a couple of early morning starts. From Komala, you cross the High Pass down to Lobuche. Once you arrive in Lobuche, we will then head north and head up to Everest Base Camp, and then also ascend Mount Kalapatar nearby before descending back down to Lobuche and then continuing our journey to the west. So from the west, we then hike a few more days to Chola Pass and cross that down to Gokyo. We also have a time in Gokyo to ascend Gokyo Ri, enjoy the views from there. And then from Gokyo, we then continue west over Ranger Lab High Pass. So there you've just completed three 5,000-meter passes, which is absolutely incredible achievement. From Ranger La, head down the Tame Valley before returning to Namche and then back to Lukla. Now with this trip, it's all inclusive. It's a big 18-day trek, so make sure you trained up well, got your mind and your body ready for a great challenge with a trip grading of 7 out of 10 for this trip. All accommodation, food, and lodgings included. And this is absolutely a beautiful way to see a range and variety of environments and valleys of the Everest region. And the final hike we offer that goes through the Everest region is the Great Himalaya Trail. I completed the Great Himalaya Trail back in 2016 with my mum and sister. This was an absolute trip of a lifetime. We're very proud of what expeditions to offer this trip. 150 days itinerary with 145 days hiking. So being on the trail for that long, you become very associated with the day-to-day life. Getting up from your tent, packing down, eating good food, and hiking all day to get to the camp the next afternoon. So for this journey, we started the far east of Nepal, on the border with Nepal and India, at Kachijunga, and then you pass through the multiple regions of the Himalaya. So from Kachijunga to Makalu, Everest, Ruwaling. We then followed by Langtang, Manaslu, Annapurna, Bidambustang, Dolpo, and the far west. This journey is the greatest hike, trail, alpine area in the world. We have an incredible support team who takes you through these regions, amazing guides, and it's an absolute trip of a lifetime. So if you're up for a good challenge, this may be the trip for you. And we grade this as a 9 out of 10, as there's over 14 passes of 5,000 meters and 2 passes over 6,000 meters, which do involve technical equipment as well to get through safely. So be sure to research this one if you're very excited for it. It's definitely one that you will never regret, and you'll always remember this for the rest of your life. Wonderful. Well, I hope you really enjoyed tonight's webinar. I hope this inspires you. And for those that it's their first time thinking about the Everest region, getting to hiking in the Himalayas, I hope this gives you more understanding about the different trips that we at World Expeditions offer. If you have any further questions, please get in contact with us. We'd love to take you to this beautiful part of the world and show you what Nepal has to offer.